Hi everyone, it's me, Crystal. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today we're going to be playing around with the oil pastels that came in the May 2021 Sketchbox. I'm also going to be pulling in other oil pastels from a previous Sketchbox. For this drawing, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, I had an idea of a woman's face enveloped in a bubble. For the final project, I decided to elongate the bubble since this is a 4x8 piece of canvas board. I did this so I filled up more of the space. For the drawing itself, I did a rough sketch using that pencil that came in here, specifically the Carteron d'Oche Pablo pencil in charcoal gray. For the skin tone, I did a base layer of the coral color of the Sennelier oil pastels, and I'm using the other colors on top of it to shade, specifically the olive green and the Indian red to get some of the darker tones. I pull in the charcoal gray to get the deepest tones, and I also pull in the white for highlights. I'm also using quite a few other oil pastels, as I said earlier. I'm pulling in a little bit of yellow in that skin tone as well as some other browns. I'm not thinning out the oil pastels using paint thinner or odorless mineral spirits, but if you want to do that, you definitely can. At this point, I was contemplating doing some lines in the little bubble area in the blue and then pulling in the other colors on top to create some shading. I do eventually undo this. I liked it being smoother much better. I might come back to this in a different drawing at another time though. As far as blending goes, I do occasionally pull in the Sketchbox color shaper that came in this box. For the most part, I use my finger, but much later I do pull in some paper blending stumps. I do actually really like the gray canvas board with these materials. I like how it tones down the intensity of the colors that came in this month's box. If you can see in my sketch, the colors are a little bit brighter, a little bit more intense, and I feel like this neutralizes them beautifully. I do want to see if I can get this canvas board in a different size and do something more similar to the sketch I did. A lot of this drawing was a little bit more stream of consciousness. I had a vague idea with the sketch, but the final drawing is very different, and during different stages of the drawing, it changes completely. Basically, a lot of this line work that I'm messing around with right now won't exist in the final drawing at all. I just end up blending it out and making it look more like a smooth bubble. I don't use oil pastels very often, but I do like how malleable they are. You can always layer more on top, and you can always blend it out very easily. You can also erase it with a kneaded eraser pretty well too. This is only the second time I've tried using oil pastels seriously as an adult. The first time was also a Sketchbox unboxing. I should actually play around with these a lot more. I like the ideas and the effects. I kind of like how messy they are too. I love that sensation as an artist of kind of creating a mess and actually feeling the art supplies. Around here is where I start blending out those lines that I created quite a bit more to create more of a smooth bubble effect. And I start outlining the shape of the head more just so that I don't lose it too much later. I also want to make sure that I have some really bright white highlights on top of everything else we're doing. The darker black that I am using is not the pencil that came in this box, it is a different one. All of the art supplies that I used that did not come in this art box will be in that description box down below. Just like any drawing or painting we do here on this channel, I'm doing a lot of layering and adjusting of shapes and colors, highlights and shading as I go. For some of the medium tones in the skin tone, I did end up using that purple pencil that came in this month's box too. Initially, my plan for the background was just to leave it the gray of the canvas board we have here. That does change. I decided to pull in the Carteron d'Oche Pablo pencil and the charcoal gray over it, at first very lightly to create a texture and a little bit of a darker gray going on, and much later I deepen it up quite a bit. For parts of the outline especially, I wanted to make sure I had some strong, deep, dark black lines in order to differentiate it from the background even more. It also helps further define the shapes that we already have here. This drawing is such like a weird sci-fi kind of idea that I literally just had because I couldn't sleep. This is a drawing that happened because I couldn't sleep, and I felt like being productive, so I decided to do this project. Go figure. At this point in the drawing, I'm making sure that I am using the pencils that came in this month's box to specifically help outline and shape everything really well. Make sure I have some really nice deep dark shadows going on the person themselves. Also, since I don't have any eyebrows going on, I wanted to make sure that the area around the eye sockets and brow bone were very well defined. I also do some different contouring around the shading of the face to emphasize certain areas of bone structure, like underneath the cheeks. At this point in the drawing, I thought I was pretty much done. I decided later that I wasn't. Sometimes it's a good idea to just take a break, walk away, come back to it, see how you feel about it, and adjust things as necessary. What I decided the drawing needed was that certain parts needed to be broken up a little bit more. So I decided to add different little bubbles around the main bubble and have some of them attached to it as well. I just wanted there to be a little bit more of an interesting shape going on with what we have here. The good thing I learned by doing this is that the oil pastels that came in this month's box can layer over that pencil pretty darn well. If you remember in the unboxing, I was a little bit concerned about that because they recommend using the pencil as the way to sketch it out, and I wasn't sure if it would show through the oil pastels. It looks like it doesn't really, so good job. I was able to erase some of the mistakes I made at this point, literally by just taking a paper towel and wiping it across the area of the canvas I wanted to fix. All I'm doing at this point in the drawing is adjusting the shapes of our little watery bubble deal that we have going on. I also darken up the background quite a bit. Overall, I really enjoyed the items that came in this month's box. I liked the fact that I was able to pull out oil pastels from another box to be able to use with it really well. I like how it applied to the surface that was included, and I enjoy how the colors worked with that surface as well. Although this drawing is a little weird even by my standards, I actually like it. I think it's an interesting idea that I would like to work with a little bit more in the future. But with that, this drawing, and therefore this video, are pretty much finished. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, concerns, or you've used any of the items that came in this month's box, please let me know all about that in the comment section down below. If you would like to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do a bunch of art unboxings and drawings and paintings right here on this very channel. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video, listen to me ramble, and see this weird drawing we did today. Look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you'll definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!